Hey, what is up, Patreon? It's Rich. All right, happy Halloween, and welcome to a very cool book and also something kind of creepy. So this is Absolute Carnage Director's Cut. You can't buy this as a comic book. It only comes as a digital version, if I'm not mistaken. I do like that Marvel does these, though. You know, I have to say too, the more Marvel stuff that I've been checking out from the last couple of years, they actually really do have some great looking books. But today, what I thought we would do is check out Ryan Stegman's work on this Absolute Carnage book, and we'll kind of skip through the color files a little quicker than the pencil and inks, but it'll be fun. And you know, I would recommend for people that are looking to refine the craft of their drawing, look for these director's cut type comics, whether you buy them or buy the digital download, however you get them. They're really good study guides, and the way Marvel's been doing it is they actually show kind of like the full pencils of the book, the inks, and you get the script too. So if you're having trouble finding Marvel script, it could be an option for you. So let me shut this, and here's the piece in black and white. Yeah, it's a really cool and just awesome way to be able to really check out the craft of doing comics. And these guys are a great team. It's funny because I don't know Ryan's work really well. A friend of mine would occasionally send me like his art dealer, when his art would go on sale, he would send me like links and be like, oh, look how fast the stuff sold out. And you know, I would check out the stuff in black and white, and I was like, yeah, it's good. It didn't really like, it didn't completely grab me. I think he is really talented, but just it was one of those things where at the time I was into different stuff, and so you know, when it would pop up out of the blue, I was like, you know, I did like his storytelling, though. I do remember actually complimenting that, but the drawings to me were really cool, but it maybe not exactly my personal aesthetic. So again, we're gonna kind of have to hustle. This is a lot of stuff to go through. So you could definitely see like a Joe Madureira and kind of Greg Capullo influence on this guy. Probably other stuff too. But his work is pretty identifiable as his own. So when he is penciling these pages, you can see that he doesn't fill in the black areas on everything, which is smart because doing it on a page like this would really be quite a mess. And I'll tell you what, this would be a lot of work to ink. This is no joke. This is like, man, the blacks alone would probably take 3 hours to do on this piece. And I mean, it looks fun, but it also like it's a lot of black and a lot of little shapes. So mad props to I think it's JP Mayer or Meyer that inks the stuff. But yeah, sometimes seeing this stuff in black and white, you almost can't appreciate how complex it is to do. Inking Bacalo, I got a good taste of what little shapes like this can do to you. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Ryan's work now. I think he's really good, and I'm enjoying seeing just about anything that he draws from the last few years. If you go back further, it's not. It starts to drift into another look, and then again, you've got the color files with no lettering, which is actually really neat too. And I'm pretty sure this is Frank D'Armata colors. He's got a pretty distinct palette. Like it's always kind of this chromy red, but we're not going to stick on the color pages for now, just because it'd be too much to go through. But this will be fun. But yeah, I was really glad that people enjoyed that John Byrne video yesterday. It was fun to do. I'm just going to zoom in so that we can see the small details. This is a great Captain America pose. Again, this is really freaking time consuming stuff. I'm telling you, like, just this little area right here would probably take an hour and a half, and then hour and a half, hour and a half, hour. It's a lot of work. I don't know what pace this guy works at, but this is some legit, like, in pencil, it probably goes a little faster for him, but this guy is not messing around, and is his inker, which I can quickly put myself in his place. This is like, man, you're earning your paycheck on this. But it's great looking art, and they're big books from Marvel. But yeah, that is wild. Whew. Beast mode. All right, and then we'll just take a quick. Oh, the inks, yeah. was easier to grab the files kind of like in one chunk. I really like how creepy everything is. Shocker, right? But this is cool. I like, man, Captain America. He's crazy. The Thing. It's fun. There's a little McFarlane in this stuff too. And I think I've heard him reference that McFarlane was an early influence and that he was a big fan of Todd's work. And you know, who wouldn't be, especially if you're going to be drawing this kind of material. Todd did such a great job. Man, this is really neat stuff. Gritty, you know, it's got an organic feel to it, which is cool, you know. But then, you know, you see the pieces in color, and it really, like, the colors do actually really tie it together and give it a solidity that you know, reads is almost finessey in a way. So yeah, really, really beautiful colors. This is great looking stuff. It's interesting how he knocked this out. When I saw it in color, I couldn't really picture what it would look like in black and white. I was kind of curious of what went on between this fade and then up into here, but you could see when you look back at the other file what went on. It's interesting. Again, little tidbits of stuff. Again, this is very, very detailed. You could do a page a day of stuff like this. As the inker, though, it would be much harder. It sounds weird, but if he's fast at laying this stuff out, which I kind of get the impression that like he's kind of got it together now, and you know what I mean. He could do this page probably faster than the inker could. In fact, I would almost bet money on it. This is a lot of like stuff to deal with. You'll hear me continually ramble on about that because looking at these files right now, I had flipped through this book last night and was like, oh, you know what, this would be good for a video. So I didn't want to really like pour over it too much, so that it would be kind of, you get like my sort of real spontaneous reaction. But yeah, now there's a good chance that JP Meyer does have a black filling in assistant. I'm not 100% sure where he works out of, but I got the impression that he had worked with Ed Bennis. And if he works with Ed Bennis, then I'm just going to connect the dots and say that there's a chance that he could be like a Brazilian. And they do work with studios, so that helps. This beautiful colors, man. But who knows? It's just a guess on my part. And he may not, you know, like I've inked Ed Bennis, and I have nothing to do with Brazil. So, you know, I'm just trying to get the mindset. This isn't so bad. Get that Capullo feel a little bit here. You can see it occasionally kind of pop up. Like Peter Parker doesn't look Capullo-ish, but like this sort of does. And again, I mean, I wouldn't blame anyone that works in this sort of style to not be influenced or at least a fan of Capullo's stuff, because he is really, really good. I mean, I think Court of Owls in particular is probably some of the best stuff that he has ever done. So, yeah, why not? You know, why not? I saw an interview with the writer from this book, and he was saying that he wanted to create Venom's world, although this is a Carnage book, but it had to be a different New York than sort of Peter Parker existed in it. And what they decided was that it would be very rainy all the time and kind of dark and more depressing. And I think it's a neat idea and a good call. Why not? I think that was more for their Venom run, but it still seems to transfer here. God damn, this guy's colors are great. It's funny because I have to be honest, in the past I haven't been a fan of this guy's colors, but I don't remember what it was that I saw him coloring. But this was years ago, 6 to 10 years ago, and you know, he may have improved and kind of got better with it, but I was like, I could always tell when it was his colors, and I was always kind of like, I don't know, there's something about it. It's you know, sometimes you just have colors that you like more than other colors. He would tend to drift into colors that I wasn't as big of a fan of, but this has got so much nice subtle stuff. But you know, here's the deal though, is you have to understand that now you have like FCO coloring doing like, again, like Court of Owls, and so that seeps into other things, and then this guy raises the game, and that seeps into maybe FCO's colors, and you know what I mean? It's this kind of cyclical stew of people expanding what's going on, and Yeah, so this is Eddie Brock's Rainy World. And you know, you get styles that are similar, like little sort of moments that you know, you can kind of go, oh, this is it's a little like this and that. It's just a natural thing that happens, but it's cool to see. I'm pretty sure it was Stegman, about a month ago or 2 months ago, they had a book that was really, really late at Marvel, and out of the blue, I got an email where they were like, we need a bunch of pages done by like Friday. Can you like step in and do some? The inker's sick or something like that. Unfortunately, I couldn't do it. I was too busy. It was a bummer because I would have, but the stuff looked like this, so I'm guessing it was Stegman. Again, I just am kind of getting into Stegman stuff now. I've appreciated the quality of his work for a year or two, but never really like, you know, pursued it. Man, those colors are so cool. He's really telling a story with the colors. It's very, very powerful. I like his rain too. It's nice. Oh, and thank you. I think Eric had a comment on the way that Terry Austin would use a blade to get the kind of rain stipple sort of effect. And thank you, because that's actually very, very helpful. Because I actually did a Misfits piece, like the band The Misfits, one time, and I tried to do the razor blade effect, and I had moderate success, and then also not good success, where the blade was just cutting the paper and not getting like a nice thing. This is a cool page. His stuff is very dense. It is very, very detailed. It was funny because I was gonna draw this morning, and I had to do a correction on a panel, so I had to re-ink a panel. It took like 90 minutes, and then a page got turned in, and I was just getting ready to run to the printers to print it out, and the editor wanted a correction, not a correction, but an addition. It was like, it's Gotham, and they wanted like Gotham Police Department on one of the buildings because it's a Gordon page, and so I'm waiting for that correction. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let's do the video, because I almost didn't do this video. Again, Frank is really bringing it. I think like he's really the star of this. The inks are nice though. There's no two ways about it. I think he's really doing a nice job of capturing and expanding Ryan's pencils. But boy, the colors are real good. It's funny because I had heard an interview with Ryan, and he was saying that he loved Capullo's Joker, and it's funny because that kind of has a little bit of that vibe. And this looks a little bit like a Capullo thing too. It's a nice pose right there. Let's zoom in on it. I like how he disintegrated the faces on these characters, where they're just more suggestions of things. This is really good too. And again, you know, this is an important thing. I know that he sometimes does actually work digitally, or he does some finished ink techniques digitally. He was talking about, but yeah, when you draw traditionally, you'll only go so small on this little stuff because you don't really have the option to zoom in, and it looks better. It really does. Trying to go in and actually like draw that stuff small, I think is just it's really kind of no point. Because part of comics is it's like a suggested representation of things. I was checking out the inks on that face are really loose. Like it's like this borders on, like, if someone showed me this as a sample, I would tell them that they probably would need to like kind of refine it just a little bit. It's a little loosey goosey, but I mean you can almost guarantee when Armada colors it, it's just gonna be like locked in. Boom. It looks nice with the thin lines though. I will say that like it's fine, but yeah, it's a little thin and a little just it looks a little too, it sounds weird, but like drawn and not inked, which isn't a horrible thing. It turned out to be a nice page. These don't blend real well. This is a little better. But yeah, it's like he might have thought that the colorist was going to sort of fade this a little more. Still, it's like, it works. This is always a good way to test stuff. Is you'll see me more often than not go smaller on a page than bigger. The reason being is, honestly, in the comic, this is really kind of more the feel that you get than some sort of like hyper zoomed in thing. Oh yes, this is a nice page. Hopefully this is fun. I'm kind of watching the clock. I'm gonna end this in about 10 minutes, regardless of how far we get. We can always pick it up and do like a part 2. I think it's worth it. We're getting a triple header, pencils, inks, and colors on a really, really good book with super talented talent. If you're a fan of Ryan Stegman, what's your favorite series that he's done? I think the thing that got me interested in his work, like tipped the apple cart where I was like, all right, I need to check out more of it, was Inhumans. He did some really, really nice Inhuman stuff. The Medusa character in particular, I thought he handled her really well. Man, this guy's colors are so cool. Yeah, in the old days, this is what I would see on his stuff. It's just this. Everything was colored this like brassy, coppery red, and it would go from here to more red. He's gotten better with his cools. You see how there's like these blues and stuff in here, and it's like he's got warms and cools. And this again, this looks very similar to FCO colors though to me. Like, you know, you can very easily sample those colors and then use sort of the same palette, but this is very FCO Gotham to me. But, you know, D'Armato's been coloring long enough that he could come up with a similar palette without having to necessarily something. This is so cool. Man, what a page. This is so wild. This dude is nuts. Look at that. I love the stuff all breaking. He did a really nice job with it. Man, that is so wild. Good for him. Dude's a baller. I would have preferred that these glass pieces, at least some of them, actually didn't have the splatter on them. I think it would make them pop more. He went, and it could be, honestly, it could be Stegman at the end. This looks like digital splatter to me, to be 100% honest. He may have taken the inker's page and then gone in with digital brushes. I'm seeing what I call like replicant sort of patterns with this stuff. It could be wrong, but I'm getting a sense that this is digital splatter. I've done reviews of people, and I've said that you can tell digital splatter. Honestly, it looks very much the same. And I mean, honestly, like I get pixels. I'll like probably find, you know, like you'll see like these 3 dots, and then you can just keep finding them everywhere because it's just the brush has, you know, 500 splatters that it puts down at one time, and then they just keep repeating everywhere. But you know, who knows? Maybe this is real splatter. I'm not going to take the time to figure it out right now, but it looks like digital splatter put over this to some extent. But yeah, I think that he did such a beautiful job drawing this broken glass that it's a shame that it sort of gets lost in the black and white. Now, again, let's see what the colors do. Will Frank be the hero and bring him back out? Yeah, he kind of did. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I still want a few white. It's personal preference, though. The Venom right there is so funny. He looks like a crazy duck. This is really cool, though. Man, great page. So how many of you have seen this issue? If it's your first time, you're probably pretty impressed, I would imagine. These guys are legit. This is very McFarlane. I remember when I saw this last night, I was like, oh, yeah, that is Amazing Spider-Man Venom for sure. This is really cool. Dude is so good. Sorry, my phone just beeped. I'm going to check it here really fast. I'll zoom in on this for 1 second. Let you take a peek at this. Let me see what's going on. Nope. It was just an update from Reddit. I followed two threads there. Not, I don't even know why I did, honestly, because it's neither one of them I'm really that into. I mean, I'm a fan, but it was Death Stranding and Tool, so I get updates from this one Tool thing. I think because what it was is there was a post that I wanted to go back and see, and I was scared I wouldn't be able to find it again, so I was like, I'll just subscribe, and then at least I know the page, but now my phone gets the updates. It's funny. Do you see this? Look at this. Like the pixeled panel border. That's really weird. That's really trippy. I wonder if with lettering they went over that. I'm not going to go and grab the lettered page, but it is funny. But yeah, it's like the border is really weird there. It doesn't matter. But that's funny. Man, it's so good. This guy's colors are so kick-ass. Fuck, man. It's funny because there's two things that I'm actually sort of sniffing around for. One is an inker for my stuff, and two is a colorist. But I want someone cutting edge for both. Someone that goes beyond what is currently existing, but still can do the classics. I don't know if I'll be able to let the inks go though, to be honest. But that one I'm like, it's a coin toss. But I'm definitely not going to color my own stuff. I need to produce more work, and I want to do more drawings. So coloring is out of the question, at least for interiors for right now. Maybe one day I'll do a book or a series where I color it. But right now, I don't think it's a good idea. Boom. But yeah, so I'm silently on the prowl for a colorist. But, you know, I mean, honestly, because I still consider myself kind of a newbie. You know, I'm kind of looking for someone that hasn't broke in yet. You know, we can rise to fame together. This stuff is very, very cool, and it looks very contemporary to me. I like that. This feels like a 2019 comic, although it could be 2018, but you get what I'm saying. It's like, I don't feel like I'm looking at like someone who's locked into, you know, 15 years ago or something like that. Man, that is so cool. I've never been a huge Carnage fan. I don't dislike the character, but seeing him like this, I think it looks cool. Again, this is a lot of work. I've kind of drifted away from that sort of sentiment, but it's nuts that Ryan shades all this stuff in. Like, he didn't really need to do it up here. Sometimes you like to do it just to see compositionally how things are reading. So I get why he does it. It doesn't take that long with pencil. It's a little bit quicker, but some of this stuff down here, I mean, he could have easily have done X's, but again, he probably wanted to see the overall design of it. And you might change these shapes and bring them in and out and keep trying stuff until you lock in with your little favorite sort of riffs. Oh, and you know, I think I can extend the video because at this point, I might as well just wait for Ryan to do this correction. And since it hasn't happened yet, let's just keep going with this because, yeah, this is a lot of work. It'd be interesting to talk to JP Mayer and find out how long these pages take because I followed him last night. He was following me on Instagram, and I wasn't really aware of his work, so it's really good. It's really, really good. It's nice stuff. Gritty. Gritty. Ooh. It's funny because in color, it almost has like Arthur Adams vibe. Again, this is looking like some sort of weird digital. I don't know. Can I open recent? No. Wait, hold on. Open recent. I don't know if it'll. That's weird. What did it do? I wanted to see if I could see the inks on this again. Oh well, I guess not. We'll see what he did here with the inks when we get to the inks page. This is so cool. Again, this is giving me a little bit of an Arthur Adams vibe at times. It's probably coincidental, but you know, whatever. I'm doing commentary. I got to say something. All right, what do we got? What do we got? So let's see here. I'm just checking some stuff out. You know what it is with the splatter and the way that the guy lays it down? Whoever's doing it, again, it could be Stegman, it could be the inker. It probably is the inker. Is everything is like splotchy. It's like splotch, 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 splotch. Like anywhere that there was a blank space, I can just picture him taking like the toothbrush and like hitting here, hitting here, hitting here. It needs to be randomized just a tiny bit. I mean, I think it would look a little better if it was, but even here, I still am getting that same impression where it's like, you could just, I just feel him moving through the page, hitting it with this stuff. To some people, stuff like that doesn't matter. And it, honestly, ultimately, would it be seen in the book? No, probably not. But, you know, I mean, look, we all know there's a very fine line between God level and great level. And what the God level artists are the best at is little things like that. So it doesn't hurt for you to, even if you disagree with like splatter having any kind of relevance, you might want to have that same attention to detail in something else that you think matters. This is really weird. So I'm assuming that the panel borders have been removed and then they're dropped in by lettering, because there's no way that the panel borders look like this. So Frank must drop them out and leave them, like, they're probably on the board, but he colors over them, and then they're dropped back in with lettering. So that kind of makes sense. Again, interesting little details, right? Right. And it's interesting to me that, look, on Ryan's pencils, he inks the panel borders. I did not notice that before. His panel board, you know what? I wonder if these are digital panel borders. I think they are. Yeah. So you know what? Here's my theory. I'm going to give you a theory on this. He may lay this stuff out in Clip Studio Paint, because I know he's talked about working digitally on the back end of things. These are probably, even though I'm seeing little like anomalies coming out, it's mostly the pencil stuff. These look like digital panel borders because there's no beading of ink in the corners, and they're pretty tight. So he's probably using, he probably prints out his thumbnail 11 by 17 and then finishes the drawing like this. So in theory, some of this could actually be digital pencils. It could be real light. And I don't see blue line. And I'm not talking like literally blue, because this could be a grayscale file, even though it says RGB. The file could have been turned grayscale, and so you wouldn't see blue. But I don't see a lot of underdrawing, which also could lead me to believe that this stuff, yeah, some of this could be digital pencils. It's possible, and then he goes in and shades things in. Who knows? Doesn't matter, but it's, you know, it's fun to sort of reverse engineer this stuff. I just said reverse engineer. I don't know. I know the term. I don't know if I've ever used it. And then you can kind of tell the inker definitely works traditionally. The panel borders are still intact. It's just some of his effects are coming out of the panel board a little bit. This is nice. This looks digital though. This doesn't look hand done. So now I'm wondering, does the inker work digitally? I can't imagine that he does. This does not look traditional to me. It could be. That's weird. Because these lines, even though like when we zoom in, I don't know. It's too much of a dead stop. Do you see that as flat on the top? This is funny stuff that I'm focusing on, but you know, again, it's reverse engineering. That doesn't look traditional to me. Who knows? I think why it's important, though, to start to understand this stuff now is, look, however you want to paint it in your mind, there's competition for jobs. And the competition is going to be a grab bag of different ways that people produce art at a lot of different levels. And if you're competing for a job against someone who works at a high level and uses a lot of digital tools, and you're doing stuff traditionally, you are definitely at a disadvantage to some extent. Like I was referring to the guy that is, I'm pretty sure he's currently drawing Daredevil. His stuff is really, really detailed, but all the buildings are not drawn. But now, for someone stepping in behind him, you know, I'm not saying that there would be an assumption that you're going to draw like really detailed buildings and do it exactly like he did, because you may come in and have like more of a Tim Sale style or something like that, and have it more minimalistic or something like Frank Miller, but you know, at the end of the day, it's not going to hurt you to know and be aware of that could be a reality for you. And look, I mean, inkers, kind of the same goes for you. If you've got a guy that's working digitally and he can knock out 3 pages a day because he has, you know, someone digitally filling in the blacks or whatever it is, I mean, you know, you could lose a job to that guy. Possible. But yeah, I don't know. Some of the inks get pretty loose. Like this almost, I mean, it just has a different vibe than I guess I'm used to in American comics. It almost has like a manga feel. Okay, so keep going. Oh man, I remember seeing this in color. It's interesting too. He puts so much care into even just these little globs of like symbiote, like flying everywhere. It's funny. Boy, his inker works hard. Look at that. Yeah, you would have to bring on an assistant. If he doesn't, God bless this poor man's soul. Dude, because this is a lot to ink without even the blacks filled in. This is a lot to do in a day. You know what I mean? And then you throw in having to like weave and bob through all that stuff. That's a lot of work. Again, I don't know the pace that they're working at, but generally speaking, everything in comics is on some sort of time schedule. And usually it's that they need stuff pretty promptly. Man, this guy is so detailed. Look at that. He's like, haha, I'm just going to put X's. You can fill in the blacks. Again, this is all little areas of black that need to be filled in. This poor inker. Black, 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 black. And did he do the panel borders again? Yeah, he is. So that's his thing. This goes over. It's interesting. So I wonder... oh, you can see, like, the... So it's funny, he's doing it with like the line tool, and then he matches them up himself. It's not like he's not doing it in Photoshop. Do you see how that's messed up right there? We'll see if the inker fixes it. Oops, what am I doing? Sorry. Do you see this is like a double line? We'll see if it ultimately ends up on the inks. See, isn't this fun? You're seeing stuff that you wouldn't probably normally like check out on top of seeing the art. So what do you think? I think it'll still be there. Oh, well, hold on. Let's see. I forgot it was black on black. Yeah, so he took it out. Or, I mean, it's like covered up. Whew, it's a lot of work. I wouldn't really blame this guy for filling in some of the blacks digitally. But, you know, the thing is if you ink it and you outline the stuff and then try to drop the blacks in, that's time consuming too. The fastest way to do it is to set the page up digitally and then print it out. But if he's getting sent the pencil boards, you don't know where JP Myers lives. And you see how this has like a different vibe than that other wall. This you can tell that's like white paint, because you see there's like little blemishes and stuff in it. The other one didn't look like that, and the black lines looked kind of digitally implemented too. This is nice. It looks a little like I inked a Joe Madureira Venom piece, and I did Some stuff like that. And again, just fantastic colors. This guy's so good. Whew. And again, you like that warms with the cools, and then that nice kind of Gotham style, sort of rusty green or whatever you want to call it, like army olive green. It's nice. This is cool too. We'll get to that though. All right. Rainy world, rainy world. This is cool. It's tricky. White ink through here. And again, you can see this is tough because when you like erase the page, he's got lots of lines that fall over, but it's a rough enough style. It doesn't matter. But you can see like when he's doing his white lines, like sometimes they don't go down completely. Like the nib scratched the middle of that white line. It did it a little bit here too. These didn't, like when he flicked his first white line to be next to this speed line, it didn't exactly go where he wanted, so he had to throw a second one. I've done all this. These are all dances that I've done myself. It's interesting too because I was actually thinking about like how comfortable is it for these guys to know that they're going to do a director's cut where they share the pencils, the inks, and the colors like naked. I think as the colorist wouldn't really matter. But the penciler, you might feel pressure to, you know, fill in the blacks, like shade them in, because you're like, oh, if I have all X's, it's going to look kind of weird. They may not tell you initially that they're going to do the director's cut. It might be something they sort of go like, hey, you know, we're thinking about doing a director's cut. And some artists may ask for it. I would ask for it. I would love one of these. Oh, yeah, the fro. I remember this is really textury. I'm going to check my phone really fast in a second to see if Ryan has sent the page. That's nice colors, man. So I guess 616 is some reference to Marvel. I'm assuming maybe it's the area code for the phone number there. But they mentioned that in an interview. 616 was some kind of nod to something Marvel related. Oh yeah, this is cool. Looks good. So I'm pretty sure you can get these on like marvel.com if you want to start trying to collect some of the director's cut. So a couple of Hulk ones. There's you know, it's usually only for first issues. I almost wish that they would do them for all the books. I would totally pay the extra money to get them for everything. Anything that I was interested in. This is nice. Yeah, this was a cool page. This was when I was really noticing the rain, especially like where do you see the window here on the color. This is really nice. Okay, I'm gonna check my phone. I'll pull up the colors and you can admire it for a second. Now let me see if Ryan sent the correction. Nope. Let me text him really quick. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to get the note to him. I can't pause OBS. You can only stop it, so I don't want to stop the video. But yeah, I need to get this page printed and get going on it. I kind of knew Halloween would be a little bit of a wash, so kind of like I'm going to reboot my week tomorrow. And still work today, but, you know, not have the pressure of like Jim Toe is I don't know who that is. Yeah, really nice colors, man. I like them a lot. It is really, really cool. Oh my god, he didn't fill in the eyes. He got lazy. Yeah, it's like he didn't shade it in the jacket too. He's finally just like going like, all right, I need to get this stuff done. This is getting insane. But that poor inker. I was noticing in the printed book that some of this looked weird to me. And I was trying to figure out. This looks like digital white on these things. It looked funky in the book. You can see a little bit of a smudging there, but I don't know. This is like he's either using a different pen or something, but it's like you can see that he went in there and did it. Yeah, I don't know why these lines really stood out to me in the book. They just look too big. They're very large cracks, I guess. I don't even know what they're supposed to really be, but even in color, you'll kind of see what I'm saying. It's like they were getting too much attention from my eye. Look like worms or something crawling around on the roof. Such a hater. No, just kidding. You know, it is what it is. I've done a million things that suck, and a few that are not as sucky. Yeah, it's a little heavy-handed. This is nice though. Like, I mean, I like the inks on this page in general. Stegman's good, man. He's really, really talented penciler. Boom. That lighting there is so nice. Man, that's really kick-ass too. This guy knows what's up, man. He is like, God. He doesn't make those mistakes that those 90s colorists did. It's like, and what was funny is the one was the Rob Liefeld comic we were looking at. It was Brian Haberlin, who's actually a very, very good colorist and a talented artist to boot. But you see Armada, like he's got the light coming from here, but he doesn't just like throw some random like rim light here that's like pink for no reason. He fights that urge to do these things, and what ends up happening when they do that is they'll hit this with like some kind of color, but they don't follow it through, so it's just like you have like a weird like rim light, and light can bounce around a room. If you're next to a wall and the light's coming from here, it can hit the wall and light stuff like that. Light really does actually sort of live, and it's quite liquid in its behavior. But yeah, some of those other books really would just sometimes not make sense what they were indicating with the color, and then they weren't consistent with their own sort of thing, which makes it even worse, because then all of a sudden it kind of looks like the inker or the artist maybe did something wrong. And a normal viewer wouldn't really realize what it was. They would just think something looks off with the drawing, but it's like the color just doesn't make any sense over it. At times I get a little tiny bit of an Ed McGuinness vibe from his stuff. It's not like huge, and again, it just could be because he's doing cartoony stuff, but yeah, it's like some of his shapes are a little Ed McGuinness-y. I like that Spider-Man's nice. It's kind of got a Capullo feel. You can always pause on any of these. Some of the stuff will move through a little quicker. I inked a lot of Victor Bogdanovic double-page spreads that were like this in Deadshot, and also I guess mostly it was Deadshot. I was thinking New Superman. New Superman, they were a little different, but in Deadshot we had quite a few double-page spreads. Suicide Squad Most Wanted, it was called. That's nice stuff. Vic is really, really good, man. I'm telling you, he's a little bit of an unsung penciler, I think, right now. Like he's a little underrated. But he'll get there if he sticks with it. He'll crawl up the ladder, and as people take breaks or start to retire or regress, then he'll slide right into that. Yeah, sometimes this guy's inks gets a little scratchy. I wouldn't be totally comfortable inking stuff and having it look like this. Doesn't make it right or wrong, but I'm just saying this is a little starting to look a little too drawn. He's probably under the gun, and it's possible that there were some fill-in inkers. It still looks like his stuff, but dude had his work cut out for him, so I can cut him some slack, because, you know, what are you going to do? This is a lot of pages. And it looks, you know, it looks fine in color. See the eyebrows, though? How it almost looks like charcoal or something in there? It's a little scratchy. Some of these stray lines actually, I think, do look kind of cool. It's like, have a balance with it. This is nice. Really, really good face. Again, kind of Capullo-ish here. It was funny because I always kind of wonder, like, if Capullo went back to Marvel or went to Marvel after DC, what would be his best options? I always think Wolverine, but I could see him doing like a pretty nice Spider-Man book, actually. It wouldn't be bad. I can't picture the X-Men. I don't think he's really, like, to me, it's not a great fit, like a team of superheroes. But kind of more individual character books, I think, seem to work well for him. Oh, this is nice. Man, this dude can draw his ass off. Cool shot. Cool angle of the guns. See how he turned them? And they're not side view. The temptation would be laying it out. You might go like for a side view, but he thought it out. This is nice too. Let's see, did he do his panel borders digitally again? Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, so he may be laying this stuff out digitally. There's nothing wrong with that. Kind of the way the tone of my voice made it sound like it was, but yeah, the odds are he's printing these boards out on 11x17, and he's set them up, at the very least, just the panel borders, and then printed them out and draws like there. I'm assuming there's a bit of an underdrawing under here. Whatever it is, it could be real loose and very lightly drawn, but there's probably something going down before that. And I've seen pencilers that actually will do sketches, and they still do that. Their underdrawing of their sketches created digitally. Scotty Young would do that, I think, occasionally. He would do like a daily drawing, and it looked like the or maybe it was Cheeks. It was one of them. They would do like a daily drawing, and like you could kind of see that like the underdrawing, the blue pencil was digital, and then they would print it out and ink it by hand. So, and Adam Hughes, if I'm not mistaken, at least on the newest Wonder Woman cover that he did, they referred to it as that he penciled it blue digitally and then inked it traditionally. So even Adam is going that route. This is nice. Man, colors just really just lock it in. This is a long sequence in this restaurant. You know, they've been in this room for a while. Oh my god, it's 11:42. The day's flying by. Alright, so inks and Zenzikaras. We'll go a little faster. Alright, I can go through this page. Oh, this is nice. Man, that's really cool. That's such a great comic book drawing. This too is really nice. This is a great shot. That anatomy, so good. Great panel. This is all just kick-ass. This is so nice right here too. Killer, and then wham! You should be proud of himself for this page. This is a 5-star comic book page. I think he did a great job for something that's on a splash page. You know, like this is dope. Look at that. Dude is good. This poor inker. Look at all the black. This guy, I'm telling you, he deserves an award just for how hard he works on this. I think he was up for some sort of like more Ringo award or something. They never nominate me for stuff like that. One of the reasons is because I don't go to that show. I think they were gonna nominate me one year, and they were like, "Can you come out?" And I'm like, "Nope." And then it was like it didn't happen. So this is nice. This is really good. They tend to like I've noticed with those awards too. It looks a little sort of like there's company lines that they sort of follow, just a little bit. I'm a little suspicious of that. The nomination process on that. whatever. It's comics. It's like it's you see it with the Eisners and that kind of stuff too. Man, this is so good. So cool. I don't like the colors as much on this. It's alright. It's cool. What do we got? Oh my god. This stuff is so detailed. This is almost abusive. Stop abusing your inker. You're gonna hurt him. This is too much work. This poor guy. He's going through huge reserves of ink, too. I hope they're providing him ink now. In the book, you know, I mean, in this, I like the colors on this page a little bit better. It's interesting. I like this, like, little bit of blue light that he's got going on. But you see, he keeps it consistent. It's hitting top planes and stuff. It even hits that little piece of hair a little bit. And it hits the underplane of the eye socket. So it's like... It's important. Yeah, it's nice. Man, this is a big book. Okay. Good God. This would even wear out your ink assistant. I've had times actually where I've used an ink assistant for black, like when you have like tons of black like this, and like they can't even keep up with me, where it's like I'm inking pages faster than they can almost fill in the blacks. And it's not because there's so much work, but it's like it starts to wear them out because they're probably not at a full on like cardio level of a professional artist, like, you know what I mean, where it's like an 8-hour day for them is brutal. Man, all this black, he's doing it again. You see that? Oy vey. This isn't so bad. They're bigger shapes, but... It was funny, too, is the interview that I was listening to with Ryan Stegman, there was one that was from probably a little bit before this, and he's like, I'm just going to ink myself from now on. It's like, I like the way that when I ink myself, it like feels like my work. He didn't stick with that long. It's like, can you imagine trying to pencil and ink this? There's no way. It would take him 5 days a page. We've got someone with a weed blower or something outside. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it in the microphone. It's funny, this is so similar to the Ryan Benjamin page that I got today. Like all it needs is Gotham City Police Department up here, and it's like almost the same exact shot. It's funny. And again, tons of black. It's really nice. Looks really good. Again, gets a little bit of that Arthur Adams feel there. It's cool. These guys are all studs, man. There's no two ways about it. It's getting a little bit of that double line thing, like where like when he did his speed line, it didn't go down right. It's like, and you know what Frank's gonna do over this? He's gonna add about 500,000 extra raindrops. There you go. Man, this is such a cool comic book. You guys did an awesome comic book. It looks good. It's funny, it's a little warbly. Like you see, like kind of like it sort of slopes. And then it slopes back this way. It's like these two panels and these two panels are a little crooked. I'm sure it's intentional. Bam. Oh man, that's so cool. I love that cool color here, and then that just drab like olive, and then the like light. It's got a little bit of warmth, and then this. Ooh, man, Look at that. That is so cool. God. These dudes should be so proud of themselves. My God, that is so awesome. Alright. I can't stop. Let's just keep going. Come on. We're going to take it to the end. Oh my God. Now I'm confused. Does Spider-Man know that Venom is here? It looks like they're pals. Are they working together? I don't know the story. Again, a ton of black. This poor inker. Oy. My God. That's funny because you can actually see some of the underdrawing of the pencil. Which also, so this to me is a slight indicator that he might not be able to erase the pencils underneath, meaning that it is digital pencil. Does that make sense? And my little trick with the, I showed you guys when I clean up the blue lines, this. Zooming in so that you can see the pixels, and then hitting levels or Control L, and then starting to take out these lighter ones slowly. He could have removed more of this debris. This is my little secret. No one showed me this. This is something I came up with. But I can keep isolating these gray dots. You have to do it one at a time. And you don't want to get the ones that are too dark, because it'll start to pull out the same color of gray here. But the lighter ones are okay. But watch how much cleaner this scan will look once I'm done. I'll just do it like 2 more. So little tricks your buddy Rich shows you. I'm telling you. Patronage has its privileges. And then sometimes I'll even take the brush and just sort of knock out if there's some that are hanging. But you don't have to get too psycho with it. But you see how much of that it removed? Like, look at Spider-Man's chest. There's still a little bit of the darker grays. But I didn't want to disintegrate that line. So actually, this stuff, because it is jet black, you could go in and remove. I'll do like 3 more grays. Watch this. But did you see it start pulling stuff out of the other lines? And it'll lighten. We'll do one more. I'll just do like this shade of gray. That'll be good. But yeah, so that would lead me to believe that the pencils are partially digital. Man, that actually looks really nice with all that kind of schmutz out of there. Yeah, it looks way better. But you can see it can thin stuff out. You have to kind of monitor what you're doing to make sure that you're not removing too many pixels. And you, like, a lot of times I'll hit it with the dodge tool or burn tool at the end and just darken my blacks a little bit, just to make sure that if there's any gaps that sort of have been created from removing the gray, because you can see if we zoom in here on the blacks, do you see how there's missing pixels? It's probably because of me removing gray pixels that sort of existed in there. But anyway, with the burn tool, you can just kind of darken it a little bit. You don't want to go crazy with it, but there you go. No, I don't need to save my changes. They're fantastic, I know, but oh man, look at that. It's a really interesting lighting effect. It's got a little bit of the Spider-Verse sort of vibe with that, like, kind of almost like metallic, shimmery color thing. It's cool. Like it. Again, those cutting edge techniques. You know, you want that in your book now, or at least I do. Combo of it all. This is nice. Great shot right there. This is cool. It's all good, baby. It's all good. Well, this is really fun. This is like a nice way to start the day. I always say, you know, if you can put some good stuff in your head at any point during the day, it's not going to hurt you. But, you know, again, you got to be drawing. That's the key. Is make sure that you're also drawing. I didn't expect Ryan to take this long with the addition of the Gotham sign. In fact, if he hasn't done it by the time I'm done with this video, I'm actually just going to take the page down. We can drop it in as a stat, because I know he's not going to redraw the city. He's going to put in a sign. Sadly, it's not really a sellable page because there's no Batman on it. It's just Commissioner Gordon, kind of like outside in a rainy thing. So it wouldn't be a page that would sell very easily. So if the Gotham sign is missing, it's not going to be catastrophic to the sale amount. You do kind of have to think about stuff like that, though. Is like the published page versus like if they switched out this panel, or if this was like flipped the the other way or something like that. It can confuse a collector. They buy it and all of a sudden they go, "Well, is this the printed page? Why is this? This isn't the drawing that I have on my page." And you're like, "Oh yeah, that's on another board. And this was, like if you didn't understand what I meant, I'll show you." I've worked with pencilers where they go, you know, storytelling wise, this looks better. It won't work because of the shape of this panel, but you'll get the idea of what I mean. Edit, transform. You know what I mean? Like he goes, this looks cooler at this angle. But, again, you get a collector that gets it, and their page looks like this. Like they could be a little confused. So, try to keep your original art as true to the published page as possible if you're planning on selling it. God, man, this stuff is so much black. I'm obsessed with it now. This is like Bacalo. Bacalo couldn't not do this to me on steampunk in particular. In fact, this is very, like, it doesn't look like Bacalo, but it's the same level of detail. God, man, this guy's colors are wild. This is so, like, gnarly. Oh, yeah, I remember this. Is this a 2-page spread? Or no, I guess not. This is all really, really good. How fun. It must have been kind of neat coming up with this. Thinking about inking it, and then, oh, stat panel 2 background. Really, dude? You drew all this and you want a statted background? Get out of town. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, he drew so much, you might as well just put it in. Oh, stat. Oh, this background. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't actually just, if he's working digitally with these panel borders, he could have just as easily have done it twice. But I think there was so much to draw that he didn't want to. So inking a page like this, this would be a lot of work. God, the black filling in on it would just be so much work. There's so many little shapes in here. But like just inking these could go pretty fast. Like I could do this in maybe 15 minutes. This might take a few, but I'm not talking about filling in all the black areas. But then you could, if you had a good black assistant filler in, or you could give them this page, but man, you would almost want to pay them more because it would just be so much work filling in all these little areas of black around this. I mean, my God, dude, J.P. Meyer literally might be the hardest working inker in the business. Give him the Ringo Award now. I'm saying it. He earned it. Look at that. Oh my God, he had to go in and do it around all that lettering. Oy vey. But this is interesting. Again, is this a tell? If JP did this color note digitally, is he dropping his blacks in digitally? What do these original boards look like? Is he Brazilian? Could he be part of a studio? All these things will remain unanswered until, I don't know, forever. It's cool. I like it better in black and white. For some reason, his coloring is getting very cartoony all of a sudden. I mean, this is like pretty obvious with that, but I mean, even this guy and this is like, I wonder if this is a different colorist? Because this is, oh my God. Dude. Holy cow. Oh my God, I would want to kill this guy. Be like, bro, you realize we get paid the same no matter what we do on the page. Smell this out a little. You're gonna kill me. Wow, holy shit. There's no way to do that in a day. And if he does, this poor guy, the next morning he's got to wake up and do it again. What was next? He may not work in order, but oh my gosh. I worry about guys like this, pencilers and inkers, that they're going to blow a fuse. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's like you burn yourself out because you work so hard every day. 'Cause that's the thing is it's like you better really enjoy drawing and inking like this. Because if you don't, you've basically established a pretty gnarly style of work to man, I can't believe that he does that lettering on the board and then the inker has to ink it. That's like so much work. God, he did it again. This guy is sadistic. he's not right in the head. I think he hates inkers. That's what it is. He wanted to ink himself. And he's like, well, if I'm not going to ink myself, I'm going to punish this guy. Every single page. No. Got to make these videos at least somewhat funny. Funny and entertaining. This is nice. I like the lighting on that. Holy macamole. Oh my god. I saw this in color and I didn't, like, you know, like, you just kind of take it for granted of what it is. Jeez Louise. So I see the digital perspective grid here underneath it. And he may, again, have had, like, little roughs of the characters. Kind of going, man, it's great, though. Really great poses. Boy, oh boy, that is fantastic energy. And the pivot of, this is kind of Campbellish. Reminds me of a few different Campbell drawings. Yeah, this is fantastic. Wow, whose hand is this right here? Oh, it's coming in from off panel. It's interesting. Oh, I guess it's this guy's hand? No, it's like an arm. God dang. And what is this? It's the back of someone's feet, maybe? I think that's a foot, and that's a foot. Like a knee and a foot, and that's a foot. So there's a Venom literally jumping over the camera. And this is the hands. Oh, and this is probably the arm of that creature that's up here. Wow, that's nuts. All right, this is gonna be interesting in ink. JP, we love you. We're sorry that he's doing this to you. These are great originals, though. These guys are making bank on this stuff. I'll tell you that right now. The original art for this stuff would sell like hotcakes. Which, again, that's why my friend would always send it to me. He's an art collector. And he'd always be like, man, like, Stegman's selling art again. And it's like, he already sold it all out. I could see that. Stuff is cool. This was really interesting. I think that this was a really fun sort of change of pace of things. To me, this is not monthly work. I could see maybe doing 3 to 4 pages of this stuff a week, but you would still be working really hard. Oh my. Yeah, this is like Bacalo. The 5th issue of Steampunk we did was this war. And, yeah, it was pretty nuts. So hopefully this was a Halloween spooktacular event. That Venom panel on the bottom. This is all of his Venoms are good, but that's really good. This is nice right here. Cool gesture, great fists. And this is cool. Oh my god, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Holy crap, this guy is nuts. And it could honestly be more detailed. I mean, as crazy as that sounds, is like, he could be like next level psycho. Because there's dudes, when they draw this much, it's like they're just like, I'll just put background everywhere too, and things like that. So luckily, he's got the sense to at least have some space. I mean, the black does create space, but it's still a lot of work. Yep, 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 yep. Oh, it's nice. Yeah, it was interesting looking at those John Byrne comics. I'm actually curious of when the double page spread sort of mania started to take over on the X-Men books. If it's a transition that he made, or if it's someone after him. So it's kind of one thing I was going to research a little bit is when did double page spreads in comics really start to come into vogue? And I'm under the impression that's great. That's so good. I think this was one of the first pieces that I saw of his when I started looking at the stuff last night. And again, this has got a beautiful kind of Arthur Adams feel to it right here. It's really, really nice. Great, great inks. This guy's getting a lot of practice. This looks digital, though. What is going on? Huh. I can't imagine that he's doing this digital. But, no, I don't know. It doesn't look digital. Just like, I don't know. It's weird. This is nice. Nice fades. He must be using like one of those Pentel pens like Jim uses for this stuff. These like wormy looking lines. And again, you can see his splatter technique is funny. Split, 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 split. Split, 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 split. Split, 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 split. It's like anywhere there's a gap. I'm surprised he didn't put one right there. Split, split, split. Nope, none there. It's interesting. Split, split. I know someone's laughing. Maybe it's just my cats. They're like, you're a nerd. So kick-ass. Look at that. Man. God, that Carnage is just nuts. What is going on? Or is that Venom? That's Carnage, right? Yeah. Jesus. Bazoozas. Oh, yeah. Very Capullo. That's a money page right there. Forget about it. I bet it was a few thousand easily. That's what you want. I'm telling you. This is cool. I like this effect. I'm wondering. This is weird. Because to have like streaks like that, again, there's a possibility that it's mostly traditional with a little bit of digital flourish. I've seen people that do that at the end. They will do some digital sort of things. I mean, you could definitely take your toothbrush and get effects like that, but it would almost seem more logical to do. I think there's probably splatter on the page, but maybe like these lines like Stegman might have thrown in. It's hard to say. Again, it's just all speculation on my part. Really nice fades. Good stuff. Such a cool page, man. Yep, beauty. I like that kind of magenta on Spidey. Looks really cool. A little stippling effect right here is nice. This is really cool. This is great, man. All the like sort of layering, texturing of color he did in there. It's really, really nice. So talented. Oh, we're finally getting to the page. the page we've been seeing in color the whole time. It's like, it's coming up. We're going to do this one, and then we're on it. We're almost at the end of the book, so we did the whole book. That's fun. This was really, really cool. Man, I feel like I saw like a really kick-ass movie. It feels like it was an hour ago that we saw the Rain pages, which kind of we did. This is a long video. We literally did the director's cut. It's real nice things. Really good. Alright, these guys are rock stars. I'm telling you, Marvel has some really good stuff that they're doing. Oh yeah, yeah. Man, these are stats that he put in. It's just the boom and then the little arrow, or I guess they're not even arrows. It's the lettering of the boom. At least the inker didn't have to ink that, but he did have to ink these insets, which are all different. This guy's very, very detailed art. Oh, it's funny. It's interesting because you almost can't read it. I mean, you can read it, but it's like they almost look like bullets. It's funny. I guess, are they bullets being shot at him? I didn't see, I wasn't paying attention to what was leading up to this. Maybe they're shells. I don't know. I'm sure I'm wrong. That's all right. It's not a biggie. It's cool. My God, these guys deserve an award for this. This is just crazy. That's cool. Love the lighting there. That's a funny sequence. Oh my God, that's hysterical. He did really cool color right there too. This is all really super nice, man. It's like at times you get that like sort of video game feel. Not here, but like something like this. It has like a little bit of like a video game vibe. This is really cool. And then I guess it's Carnage coming in. Hey, boys. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I hope that was fun. That was a long, long video, but I think it was pretty interesting. And God bless these guys. They are hard workers. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's like Ryan is incredible. JP Mayer is just a badass with the inks, and then Frank's colors. I'm pretty sure it's Frank Diarmota. That I didn't see in the credits, but I'm pretty sure it is. They're amazing together. It's just so good. There's a few more issues of this out, so I'm definitely gonna check them out. This was like some sort of triple size issue, or I don't even know what it was, but yeah, that was fun. Pencils, inks, and colors. We killed it on this video. So, all right, have a great day. Happy Halloween. Thank you so much for being patrons, and anyone that made it at the end of this video. You're as much of a champ as JP Mayer. All right, talk to you later. Bye.